Good morning, good morning. Oh my gosh, as many times as I hear that song, I don't know about you, but I never get tired of it. That guitar solo drives me bananas. Whew, I'm sitting in here going, just air guitaring away. Good morning, everyone. Lovely to see your bright, shining faces. I've got, oh, all right, Petra coming back from London, Linnell in Paris, France. We've got Vina representing the 305, Mrs. Worldwide herself. I love it. I love it. And Xtina, am I saying your name properly? I called you and left you a message. Okay, great. Because I was like, Xtina, sorry. We've got Cece coming in from Nebraska. Is that right, Cece? Yes. And we've got Chrisleen, and we've got Jan, and we've got Diana, my librarian from Oregon. We got Laura here. She's in some kind of a space mountain. I saw her just a minute ago. We got Patty representing Chicago. We got Florida in the house with Melanie Albert. We got Phyllis Taylor, Will Sinclair. Will Sinclair is a pirate today, so be careful, everyone. He's got his pirate ship parked. Right? We've got Allison, and Priscilla left us a message. She's got to go feed the animals. I love it. We got Monica, we got Glenn, Karen, and Jane Newman, my doctor, who is probably going to be sleepy by 10:30. Or no, it's already past 10:30. I got Muddy still making me jealous from the lake. Melanie Alpert's gonna show us some more beautiful food today, so I'm excited about that. We got Marcia coming in from some beautiful, we talked about this when we were on a call, I remember at one point, Marcia. Wonderful, wonderful to see you. Elizabeth is no longer in the, whatever that's called, the Northern Lights. The Northern Lights. And Celeste is back. Good to see you guys. So happy. Dr. Karen, Michelle, Kathleen, Sherry. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I see Gretchen there. I see Lori, and people are turning on their cameras. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Deborah. I appreciate everyone that was in the VIP session last night. I think it was an amazing session. Broke down some videos. Donna's still representing the New Jersey. I liked her comment in the chat last night. Higher the hair, the closer to God. Is that right? So good. So good. Ah, the damage that was done to the ozone with that hairspray in the 80s. We got Lisa Miller. We got Dr. Patrice. I love it. I love it. Oh, thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. Yeah. You know, when we start to look at videos, when I start to look at videos and bring my, 25 years of experience into just critiquing stuff, it really can open up your eyes on how to approach things a little differently and really understand what I call your future client, what your future client is perceiving, right? Because I look at videos as this component to attract in that future client, right? A lot of people will say potential client, I'll use that as well. But I really like to, I don't know, maybe do a little manifesting, right? A little manifesting, this is my future client. And really just while it's on the top of my mind, I'll say this. Hello, Marion, good to see you. I'll say this. Assume every video you make, Mary Wallace, it's landing in front of that future client. Like they are just dying to see this video. It helps with your psychology when you go to make your videos, right? Because when you go to make your videos, I want you to be in this mindset of they're dying to hear from me. This is the video that's going to actually help them get closer to solving their problem. This is the video that's going to make them go, yeah, I want to talk to them. Yeah, I want to attend that webinar. Yeah, I don't want to miss this summit because they're going to be speaking on it, right? And good morning, Sue. Good to see you back. I got Nancy Olson. Nancy, I'm still waiting on my shirt. Had to iron it myself. I mean, I think I did a pretty good job. I'm afraid I'm going to be sweating through this one today. Yesterday was a dark shirt, so I didn't have that paranoia, but today If you see me get a little hot, just know that I'm on fire. All right, good morning, Shirley and Kelly. Good to see you guys. So I'm gonna do a little bitty pitch this morning about a Facebook group. Because Lord knows we all need one more Facebook group to be involved in, right? So if you go to your dashboard, you're gonna see a button there that says Join Jimbo's Video Group. And you'll see some fun questions. I'm gonna let you all in, but you know how when you set up a Facebook group, you have to set up some questions or whatever it is. So I had fun with that. I'm not wearing Crocs today. Vans. Yeah. So it's not just a neon theme. I kind of live this lifestyle. I'm either in Vans, Crocs, or Converse, some kind of Chucks, right? Good to see you this morning, Marie. Yeah, it's just who I am. Side note, so when I was a kid, believe it or not, I was a little too small to play football. I was a decent basketball player, plus I was just scared. I would see those kids get out there getting hit, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. First day of baseball, I got hit in an eye by the pitcher, and I'm like, I'm good. I've had enough of this game. But I loved skateboarding and BMX racing. Facebook group? Yeah, it's on the dashboard. It's not. It's my my personal video, or it's a Facebook group that I had set up. Oh, Jimbo's Video Group. It's not working?
I don't see it.
Oh, okay.
You have to text me the link. I'll create the button.
Okay, great.
It's supposed to be down in resources?
Oh no, sorry. It's right under. It's at the top. Yeah. All right. So yeah, a little side note. I love side notes. Yeah, it works. Okay, great. So my dad, I got into BMX racing and I loved it. I loved it so much. I was obsessed. And my dad ended up buying a bike shop, which was essentially a shed in the back of some guy's house, and the land for the BMX track because this guy was moving. And my dad, and this was before BMX was a thing. Like there was no Walmart. You could not buy a bike anywhere, right? Only like a 10-speed type bike. And my dad ended up, buying that little shed. We built a bigger shed behind our house, and he grew that into 3 locations around the town and surrounding towns. And we were the first people in town to sell vans. Like you could not buy vans, in a store. So he started buying vans. And so from the age of 14, I've worn vans. Side note, not relevant, man. All right, so let me tell you what I saw this morning, or maybe it was last night, and why I wanted you to join my Facebook group. Not only am I just collecting you, but I wanted you to join my Facebook group because there was a great post in there last night from our very own Dr. Jill, and I wanted to address it this morning because I think it's fascinating, and I think it will help all of you, and I have a little bit of a lesson around it, believe it or not. Everything's a teaching moment. So she wrote, okay, so tonight I drafted 2 video scripts about a hot topic I hear from my clients: getting ghosted after a cancer diagnosis, or the flip side of it, when people, usually in an effort to help, say dumb things and the person with cancer pushes them away. Now, the truth is, as all of us being entrepreneurs, coaches, authors, speakers, course creators, and the like, can we all relate to being ghosted? Like, put me in the chat if you've ever been ghosted by a client. And you're just like, I thought we were. And then it was like, poof, ghost, right? That drives me bananas, right? Cece's the only one that's been ghosted here. Fantastic. It's just me and you, Cece. All right, there's a few other people. and everybody's like, no, it's happened to me. So she said the first is my standard info tips type tip tap video, a straight laced video. My second is done as Rosanna Dana, right? Oh my God, Gilda Radner, so good. She says, but I'm a little concerned it might be too much for women who are still in treatment or recently out. I'm not sure how much edginess is too much. And I think we've all gotten a little dose of Dr. Jill, and it's like, you're edgy. You gotta lean into that, Dr. Jill. Do not shy away from it. So why I wanted to share this with you guys this morning is I don't think, of course there's a thing as too edgy, but I would always frame this in this concept, and this works for everybody. You can literally say, if I'm being too edgy, or if I'm being too this, I apologize, but my intention is to blank. Just acknowledge it. Just acknowledge it, and now all of a sudden you have the permission to do whatever you want with it. Right? Because you're coming at it from this angle of like, hey, I know this might be a little bit too much. Or, hey, if this character I just did offended you, I apologize, but I believe in this so much that I wanted to get my point across. And if I'm not for you, I'm not for you. Like, just acknowledge it. Is this making sense? Right? Could I get some chat help with that to say this makes sense, right? You acknowledge whatever it is that you think you're going too far, and it's all of a sudden okay. I always so kind of teach this like in terms of you're going to, let's just say you're out at the beach, right? And it's a little noisy, but you're inspired and you wanted to make a video. And Melanie, you somehow forgot your microphone. You might do something like this. Hey there, it's Jimbo Marshall. I'm at the beach. I know those waves are a little bit loud and it's a little bit windy, but I had to make you this quick video. Phone drop. Like, I've just told them, hey, I know it's a little noisy. I know it's a little something. Bear with me because I was, right? And when you do something like that, it's kind of, your audience just is like, okay, cool, I get that, all good, right? Yeah, I mean, you said it, Lori, it's that. And if you acknowledge, if you don't try to hide something, all of a sudden you are in a good place. Yes, exactly, Celeste, exactly. So I hope that helps frame a few things for you this morning, David. And do I say it theory? Theory, you're in some fancy church. Am I saying your name properly? Ish? Theory. Good morning, Barbara from Chicago. All right, Dr. Lan. Nice hat in the sun out in Arizona, enjoying it. There's my baby making genius. She's back. I love it. All right, Anata, let's get to it. Yes, Isla. Yes. Yes, I did a video last year and I was dive bombed by a bird. That's perfect. Yes, perfect. Also, Jill, I did become obsessed because I was like, I can find a Rosanna Dana wig, and I did. I did no, Karen, I tapped out after work mode number one. I was like, can't, I ran out of time. That's the truth. So I got obsessed, Dr. Jill, and I'm like, I know this exists. So I ended up in a Reddit thread, and one of those links was perfect. I had it, but then I lost it. So if you can't find it, I'll make sure to get that to you. Because this is the way I roll, just a little bit obsessive. Yeah, I wanted to take a few shares. I know Priscilla had her hand up last night. Priscilla, are you back from feeding that mule in the 40 acres? Yes, okay, great. All right, Deborah, let's get Deborah here and see what your question is.
Good morning, thank you.
Yeah.
It's pretty popular, and I happen to agree with it, this whole theme of don't apologize for yourself, because there's been this long history of women apologizing for being
Yeah.
too much, being too this, not being. Could you speak a little bit about how all the softening that you just described is not apologizing? I know
Yeah.
we're really fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. So I'm not suggesting that you're apologizing. I'm more suggesting that you're acknowledging it.
Okay.
Right? So
I
in
like that.
Dr. Jill's case, if she does an edgy character, for instance, or whatever she does that may be a little offensive, right? Or some could consider offensive, she could say, I'm sorry if you're offended. She's not apologizing for her statement. Does that make sense? So she's acknowledging that, hey, if you were offended, I'm sorry that offended you. I'm not sorry that I said it. Do you understand that difference?
Yep.
Okay, great. Does that help?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, Priscilla, you had your hand up last night, and I forget who else on those last parts of the share, and I would like to get that to you guys this morning. So Priscilla, oh, it's Dr. Jill. Okay, great. Priscilla, we'll take you, and then we'll go to Dr. Jill.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jimbo.
Yes, good morning.
So, the general impression yesterday was actually probably about in the morning my time, so probably a third into the day. And I was really, it was so incredible, the container you created
Thank
for
you.
all of us. And it was because, I had to go out and manage dogs and put them in the doggy daycare outside, the new pen. And I was like, I couldn't wait to get back into the room. And it was, I don't know, I just kind of, it was like this really groovy feeling lounge, the space that you created.
Yeah.
And it really inspired me as I create my 3-day virtual event. I love creating magic. I love building trust. I love coloring outside the lines and encouraging other people to do that. And I think for me, the big takeaway was when I did the reflections, what was the thing that I was most afraid of doing or most uncomfortable doing?
Yeah.
And when we went through the range of emotions, and you were like anger, and I was like, fucking, and I was like, whoa, because I surprised myself, but it was also my favorite part of the day.
Good. Okay,
Not
good.
that I was swearing, I was swear pants, but
Yeah.
it was that feeling and tapping into that part where I'm a huge advocate for my clients.
Yeah.
And I'm the girl that walks in when others walk out.
I
And
love
I have
that.
a lot of certainty about that.
I love that.
They're not going to give up on themselves. And also, I've had some imposter syndrome, but my fears are bigger
Yeah,
because
I get
I'm
it.
ready to launch. And I just realized, and someone said, I don't know where I heard it yesterday, but this is just another form of prayer. What my calling and what I'm here to do and to share and to live is another form of prayer. And that really helped me reframe, like, just go do it. I've done it before, and it's
Yeah.
been, I've had so much fun. Yeah, so anyway, so that was it. And
I love that. I love that. Thank you for the share. Thank you for, giving me those kind words. Truth is, I was just creating that container for you. Just these other people happen to jump in it. Good luck. All right. Of course, I kid. Dr. Jill, what do you got for me? And then we'll go to Celeste, and I'm going to get into some content.
I think one of the highlights, I love the whole thing, but one of the big highlights for me was the working on different voices and tonalities and emotions, the range, the scope.
Okay, good. We're getting into that this morning. That's great. Yeah, that's going to be all about this morning. Yeah, what else?
It completely, it changes the message some, but it also was a good lesson in, you're always, and I've heard this before, everybody's like, if you think you're smiling, you're really like right? And you have to make it 10 times as big. So the opportunity to kind of really have to exaggerate it and ham it up
Yeah.
was a good one in terms of letting that message hit home, but also in getting more comfortable in actually doing it.
Yeah.
Which I think we need to be comfortable doing that.
It's
I will-
rehearsal. Like rehearsal is the key. Like, and you're kind of hitting it on the head. And you're a doctor. You get what practice and intention and study is. And I'm going to be going over this in the next hour. But it really is this idea of you have to rehearse this stuff. Like by the end of the night, last night, my muscles were sore because I was smiling all day, right? Now it's my job to hold the energy for this room, right? Priscilla and I, and then the rest of you, right? So yes, you have to smile more. And the truth, I always say like the camera don't lie. So shoot a video, watch the video, and it'll tell you like how happy or expressive are you, right? Well done. Celeste.
Okay, it didn't let me unmute. It was like, what's not allowed you unmute? So there it is, right there.
Yeah.
So, but the takeaway for me last night was mission was more important than ego.
Yes.
And so like that was theoretical, but then where it rubber hits the road was when we actually had to do, I was like so horrified, but I really I just did not want to do the lip sync and I thought I was able to skip that segment. But what I realized, and I did this also, I did a Palisades fire support group thing, right? I did a one recorded on my phone. Everything is wrong with it, but I didn't care because what was more important to me was actually serving the community at the time. when I needed it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it was kind of the same with that stupid lip syncing thing. I was like, realized because we'd had the seed of mission.
Yeah, not sure you have to call it stupid, but sure, go ahead.
I know, I'm sorry.
kidding,
but,
I'm kidding.
That's just my defensive.
No, I'm
wording.
kidding.
It's like I'm defending against
I'm totally
a
kidding.
really big ego around all this marketing.
I get
all
it.
of this being on camera and all that. So, but in the singing thing, it became really apparent to me. And we were dealing with the whole noise cancellation. So it's like, oh yeah, that's like when you're horrified and
Yeah.
it goes wrong on Zoom and you're supposed to be holding the space. And
Yeah.
you're on stage and then it's going wrong. And then it's this whole, what you were teaching in the improv, pivoting on a dime and using what was there and knowing and using your knowledge
Yes.
of how to just cope with the Zoom or cope with the moment and then just let the moment flow.
Yeah.
And that was mission more than ego, even though ego is flaring.
Of
Ego is
course.
still flaring.
And it's
But,
also, thank you for that. And it's also this idea, Celeste, that there's always distractions and there's always an excuse. There's never enough time. Right? We're entrepreneurs and life is happening. There's never enough time. You know what I mean? So it's up to us to go, no, I'm going to prioritize this and get it done. I'm not going to worry about the noise cancellation. I'm not going to worry about this. I'm not going to worry about how silly or whatever I look. I'm getting it done because I'm going to be selfish. It's me and my personal growth, right? Kathleen, real quick, and then I got to get started. Because I think you wanted to share last night, if I don't recall.
So many things, and
All
I'll
right.
be really brief.
Yeah.
I got a lot of hope out of yesterday.
Oh.
I finally feel like I have some hope about it, and all that other stuff everybody's saying it also is
I
there.
love it.
But for the first time, it's like I came out feeling transformed. I came out feeling like I had laughed and smiled all day, and I felt like I have hope that I can
thank
do
you.
this because I am also. I don't have forever more.
That's right.
To figure it out.
You and me both, sister.
So,
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
hope.
All right, for the rest of the day, the artist formerly known as Jimbo will be now known as Hope Bo. Hope Bo. All right, let's get into it, guys. We talked a lot about this yesterday. It's really about the psychology of video, right? The psychology of video. And I want to get in and just again, we've been kind of saying this a little bit, but Carson, if you wouldn't mind getting that slide. Okay, thank you. Sorry. Standing out is going to require intention. It's going to require intention. You've got to focus on it, right? Like we've all heard, what you put your focus on, blah, 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 right? Same here. Same here. It requires that intention. You have the personality. You have the persona. Are you willing to show it? Are you tending to it? Are you going to nurture it? That's a simple question that you may want to just write down and put on your computer and go, am I showing my personality? Am I willing to put myself out there? Am I ready to be visible? And you all are. It just makes the decision. And as Larry Winget would say, you make the decision and then you make the decision right. It's such a beautiful, bold statement. And ultimately, the way to get better is to learn acting techniques, rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Like rehearse, 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 right? Say it out loud, say it out loud, say it out loud. We say it in our head and it's not the same because once we get it out loud, now all of a sudden the words can like either decide, you know, are they trippy, are they clunky? Good morning, Dr. Juanita, good to see you back. So I want you to make sure that you're putting the intention on this, the personality. No, there's no workbook for today, Kathleen. I failed you and Dr. Karen. I just ran out of time. I had intentions of making a workbook, but you're going to get it all on the slides for sure. Thank you, Donna. And I want you to ultimately, thank you. I want you to ultimately like, just quit your caring. As much as you can, quit your caring because you're never going to know what they think. Right, Dr. Jill? You're never going to know if they're so bent out of shape about Rosanna, Dana. You won't know. Now, of course, somebody's going to be like, it's my job to write you a message and tell you how offended I am. And after that, I'm going to go on Nextdoor and complain about the traffic. Like, the world is full of those, right? Sharon from South Africa, good to see you. So I want you to really understand, you can't control what they think. I cannot control what any of you think about me or how you perceive me. I know a lot of you loved that tattoo glimpse you were getting yesterday, wink, wink. And it's not going to be ever about your information. It's about the connection that you create. Guys, none of you, including me, have any kind of information that is so proprietary, that is so like, oh my gosh, this doesn't exist on Google. I could only get it from this one individual. That doesn't exist. So it's not about the information. Melanie Albert, you are the star. The food gets a little bit of shine, but ultimately, Allison, you are the star. Isla, you are the star, right? I want you guys to really buy into this and lean into it because it matters. It really matters. And so it's called acting. It's called acting. And I can promise you this is not about you becoming somebody else. I said this, I'm sure, yesterday. We're acting every day. It's just the amount of the intention that we put into it. That's right, Dr. Karen. It's the amount of intention and effort that we put into it. Listen, we move from drama. We move from emotions. So we've got to be willing to show that. And if you can get your head around these acting techniques that I'm going to walk you through, and for some of you, you've experienced this on one of my webinars called Performing for Profits, it's just going to become easier. Because again, like I talked about it, like I can just go into Hope Bo mode. It's literally bam, and I'm in it. Before I go on to camera this morning, I'm a little anxious. I'm nervous. I mean, I'm still a little anxious and nervous. I kind of run hot. But I know once that tally light goes red, it's showtime. It's Hopebo's time to bring you in, get you to buy into what I'm trying to show you, right? So I want you to know these are techniques that you can learn, all right? So I'm going to start with the simple ones, and I pared this down just a little bit because the big one is coming last, and I've got a great example. I found a great example. By the way, I'm going to introduce you to some people, you already know some of them this afternoon, that I'm confident will inspire you. And I found a video from an individual that you'll be meeting this afternoon that is just stellar in one of these areas. So acting techniques, I'm going to start with simple and I'm going to go to complex. I'm going to start with simple and go to complex. And Erica, by the way, the replays are available for VIPs. There's a button in your dashboard. I'm not trying to push you to buy it, but if you wanted to revisit this material, that's where you can get it. The simplest thing, if you are afraid of the camera, if you know you're a little bit, let's not use afraid, you're a little bit anxious, you're a little bit hesitant, you're a little bit camera shy, the first place I want you to start is literally just focusing on the lens, like I'm doing now. Just focus on the lens, right? And if you're like, oh, well, Jimbo, that's so hard. Okay, here's your little activity. I want you to start walking around the house, pick up inanimate objects, and start talking to it. Hey there, it's Jimbo Marshall, and I know if you learn to use video properly, it can change everything in your business. Why? Well, video makes you visible. Yes, your family will think you're nuts, but you will learn, I promise. When you learn to treat the camera like an inanimate object, and really understand that your future client is right there, it becomes easier. Oh, the replays, Erica, I got to get them edited and all that kind of stuff. So just give me, yeah, I need a little bit of time for that. Appreciate your patience. Because I don't even have them yet. Yeah, okay. Yeah, our families know we're nuts, Donna, because we do this thing called entrepreneurship. It's not normal, or it is, and the rest of them are crazy. So that's where I want you to start, and I'm gonna show you a few examples. We're gonna talk about facial expression, body and hands, energy and pacing. A lot of times I'll get people that come in from. They've been into whatever that Toastmasters. And I don't know if they still do it, but Toastmasters was big on like, don't use your hands. They're so wrong. They're toast, okay? It's like, there's no master of toast, okay? I can make my own toast and I'm going to use my hands. And I'll tell you why. Because one of the most famous presidents in our history said, I did not have sex with it, right? Watch politicians the way they use their hands, masters, right? And, I will also get people to come in and I'm like, Italian, what do I do with my hands? Use them. I mean, you can't go crazy, right? But you've got to use your hands and you've got to use your body language, right? That energy is just something that you know inherently if you're giving it or not, right? And then pacing. One of the things I see from beginning performers, people on video, is the pacing is just, they get to like 50 miles an hour and it's just like, I will talk like this and I'm not going to change my tone or speak, right? And it's just like, you gotta break it up. I think of it like being on a roller coaster, right? Sometimes you gotta speed up because there's an urgency in it, and then just slow down a bit so the audience can catch right up with you. Right? The next ones are where it gets to what I would say a little bit more advanced. The character play, psychological tone. We talked a lot about psychology yesterday, and we're going to talk about the psychological tone further today because that's what really the psychological tone is what's going to have your future client either step forward or not, because you're getting them to feel it with the psychological tone. Character play is a technique that we often use that we don't have a name for it. I just made it up. It's called character play. You're welcome. And character play is this idea where you're telling a story or a situation and you create a character and you give that character a voice. All right, and I've got some great examples for this. The first thing I want to show you though is just a little video on eye contact. Okay, here we go.
Okay, now follow along with me. We are going to train our eyes to have complete control over them. Okay? First, I want you to look left. Now, look right. Now, roll your eyes. Good. Even crossing your eyes can be a powerful technique. Just focus on a point directly in front of you and then just slowly cross your eyes. Good. Now, sometimes this can happen. The key is not to panic. Just recross your eyes and then relax them, and usually, yeah, okay, good. Okay. I hope you've enjoyed this film about acting and expressions for film. So I'm gonna go take care of this now. So with practice, you can really get your eyes to light up and pop. Yeah, so, okay. So if that happens, you just wanna gently reach up and squeeze your eye. Yeah. Hey, did anybody see an eye? Oh, never mind, I got it. We're good. So should we just cut that, or you? Okay, yeah, we'll cut that.
Okay. Yeah, it's a fun little video. I don't know who that is. I wish I could give him credit. I want you to think of your eyes as another way to smile, right? I really, when I'm in front of the camera, like I don't know how I do it, but I just like put this energy and focus into my eyes. And it's because I'm always like imagining my future client is watching this video, right? So I want to smile with my eyes. Now I'm going to show you a video. We talked about Barry Baumgartner yesterday. Again, such a privilege and honor to get to work with her. This first video that I'm going to show you is, I've muted the audio because what I want you to focus on is her eyes, her facial expression, and the way she uses her body and hands, okay? Over this, but just look at her eyes. A little of an eyebrow lift there. She's got her hands out in front of her. But do you notice the way they're kind of in almost a constant flow, right? I mean, you can tell she means it just from that expression, right? Just from that expression. So she goes, right, a little bit of seriousness there, the way she, pointed her eyebrows down a little bit, made her eyebrows go like that. A little bit of focus, right? Look at those eyes right there. Oh, really, I'm saying something super important, right? And then back to kind of a surprise and inspiration, right? Oh, don't you know? Like, it's so good. It's so good. Oh, how would you not, right? You can almost tell what she's saying, without doing anything. Yeah, that Advent calendar, we had a lot of fun producing that. So that's an example, and I always like to show stuff like that with no sound. No sound. And Celeste, I'm gonna hold questions so I can get through this. If you start to watch some content and just mute the sound, you'll start to really recognize, and I think it will be an easier way for you to start to learn, like, oh, okay, all of the good performers, all of the big gurus have this expressiveness that I don't necessarily, normal people don't notice it because they're just engulfed in the message, right? So what I want to teach all of you guys to do is be critical content watchers. Follow people that you cannot stand just to watch how they perform, right? Follow somebody that just rubs you the wrong way so that you can go, okay, I'm starting to understand why they may have followers, their performance. Don't worry about the content. Don't worry about what they're saying, right? Focus on their performance, the body language, the eyes, the expression, right? All right, so I'm gonna show you the next video. This is about energy and pacing from yours truly. This is another one of my ads. And as I was looking through material last night, I don't wanna just, keep plugging myself here, but I was like, oh, this video kind of really, I think my energy is good, and I think my pacing's good. So what I want you to notice along the way is how I'm gonna speed up and slow down, and speed up and slow down, and take little pauses, okay? Here we go. Hey there, it's Jimbo Marshall, and wow, what is going on here? Listen, I'm gonna be a hat guy. You do not need all of this kind of equipment to make your videos. You actually just need your phone, or even easier, your computer, right? You can film on your computer. And listen, I know that making videos isn't always easy. I know it's complicated. I know it's, a mental head game, but here's the truth. You can do this, and I can show you how. I want to invite you to my upcoming event, Ready for Your Close-Up, where you will learn the exact sequence of your videos that you need to close high-ticket clients, simple techniques to master video performance, how to transform any room in your house into your video studio, and the proven system that's going to turn viewers into buyers. So what are you waiting for? Is it just for me to take off this silly hat? You don't need all this stuff. You need to join me at Ready for Your Close-Up. So I think there was, thank you. I think there was some great little pauses and hesitations in there. Now, full disclosure, there's one edit in there. I'm gonna be talking about shooting for the edit tomorrow. Several of you have been in my courses, so you understand all this concept. But that ad specifically, I literally had bullet points in my head, right? And I'm only telling you this because I've rehearsed stuff so many times that I'm just like, all right, let's go, right? I know what I kind of want to say. I've got this stupid prop as a hat. I had planned, putting, because that scene represented years of me doing video work, right? And another one of the ads, I'm talking about one of the cameras and I'm like, this bad boy has shot 800 weddings, right? So all of it's changed, right? So I think it was just a good example of there's pauses in there where it's I'm just giving you a beat. And then the other thing I was gonna say, we're gonna get into Veed. It's an editing software. Thank you, Gretchen. I wore it to a garden party a couple of weeks ago in Wilmington, which is basically just outside where there's an open bar and a band. Anyway, and I did get a few comments on it. I felt a little douchey, but I think I pulled it off. Anyway, we're gonna get into Veed. It's an editing software application tomorrow. Veed, why I love it so much, one thing, it's super easy, and two, it's got this feature where you can speed up the dialogue without it sounding like Mickey Mouse-ish, and that's really one of the things that I want to encourage all of you to do, because the truth is, if I can make, if I've got a minute video and I could get it down to 50 seconds, always shorter is better. Always shorter is better. All right, this next example and going back to Barry Baumgartner for the Advent event calendar, or event Advent calendar. And this is a master class in character play, right? So what you're gonna notice, and I think there might be 2 clips in here put together, but what you're gonna notice as she's talking, she starts to talk about a fictional client who actually represents a real client. It actually represents someone's real thoughts. But the key here is her acting, and she's not acting, she just does this naturally. Like, I had to tell her, like, oh my gosh, you're doing character play. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I teach this thing, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, can I use this? And she was like, of course, right? So this, I've never seen somebody do it so well and so natural, all right? So check this out.
So let's talk about how to craft messaging that makes your audience stop, pay attention, and say, wow, it's like you're hearing all those late night conversations that I've been having with myself. This is exactly what I've been looking for. So first things first, if they're saying things like, I'm so overwhelmed, sometimes I forget why I started this business in the first place. It started to feel more like a job and less like a business. I feel so disconnected from my wife and kids. Sometimes, if I'm being really honest, I just feel trapped. I'm working really hard to secure our future, but I'm missing our today. Use their words in your "this is for you if" messaging.
So good. It's so subtle. Like, she goes into that little character, right? If I'm being really honest, and then she slips right back out of it. Why that is so important. If she would deliver it and said, if I'm being really honest, you don't go into that scene. You don't go into that moment. So I want you to think about how you can use that element, right? And I'm thinking, you know, I'm thinking of Priscilla Linnell, right? Who helped women in the, you know, messy middles and, you know, finding their way. Like, these are good techniques that you guys could be employing right away. Dr. Karen, both of you, Dr. Karens, could be using this right away, right? If you're struggling to get pregnant and you lie awake just praying and hoping that someday God is going to bring you that baby, I've got news for you. Like, all of a sudden, it takes me into that scene and I feel it, right? All of this is in regards to driving an emotion, right? All right, so the next one, I wanted to show something from her, and I was looking through some of her videos, another client of mine that you'll meet later on, and I'm going to end up showing another videos of her tomorrow, because the video tomorrow was one of the perfect videos that I love to teach. It's basically a video that's basically like, hey, if you're looking to hire someone, here's what you should look for. I'll get some more of that tomorrow, but we always want to be a cheerleader for our industry is the point. I'm not the only one that can, you know, help you with video. I want to be a cheerleader of video because all the high waters lift all those boats, right? I want to be an advocate for what I do, right? Because if I'm not, I'm just coming across as a selfish salesman. The strategies and the tools for video work. You don't have to learn it from me. Am I the best? Somebody would say so. In the chat, if you want to put Hope Bo as the best, I'm not going to be offended. You like that one, Barbara? Well, you got off the pirate ship. All right, you're now in the mountains. Well done, Fred. So now we're going to go into psychological tone. And Is Isla with us today? Yeah, Isla. So I'm going to show you, this is a parent coach. She's a counselor, a therapist who deals with anxious teens and stuff. And so when I was watching this video last night, I was thinking about you, Isla, because I was like, this I think can inspire you because of the way she's going to go. How did my notes say? Yeah. She's going to start with concern and empathy, and then watch the way or notice the way she goes into inspiration and hope, right? It's these subtle shifts. And the other thing that she does very well, I want to probably pass Jimbo on the back because I'm certain that I helped her with scripting. And this is when we went through some scripts yesterday. This is a great, or last night when we were doing the critique for the VIP, and I think it was, is Deborah here? Yeah, I was talking to you, Deborah, in the beginning about like assume they're watching it. So if you are, you say you are. This is a great example of that, all right?
You're terrified of watching your teen's anxiety spiral out of control. The stakes are too high to sit back and do nothing. You see your teen struggling, and you're worried about depression, substance abuse, maybe even suicide. It feels like nothing is working. Because you're here, I know you are an incredible mom with unending, unconditional love for your teen. You would do anything to help. The problem is, you're completely overwhelmed and confused about what to do at this moment. If you're being really honest, it's been a long road. You've had lots of meetings with the school, therapists, consultants, doctors, and anyone else who's offered suggestions. Honestly, you're feeling burnt out and even hopeless because in spite of your best efforts, things feel like they're getting worse. Your teen is getting older, but not any better. I completely understand. I'm Marla Dakin, licensed therapist, anxiety expert, and parent coach. I'm also a mom who's lived this. I know how hard it is. I've helped countless families who have struggled with this very situation over my nearly 30-year career. This is why I have created a simple step-by-step resource to help your teen learn strategies to tame their anxiety so they can start living a fuller, happier life. And so you can start resting easy and feeling more confident, capable, and in control. With this resource, you'll have a better understanding of how to tame teen anxiety, along with a rating scale to assess how you're doing in each area right now. Don't delay. Download this free resource today.
I mean, like you pay attention to this, there's so much to unpack in this video. Oh. Here's my notes. And this is what I was thinking about you, Deborah, when I was talking about this. It's like from the beginning, you're this, you're that, you've had this, you've done this. So just imagine the power that has as opposed to if your teen is this, if you as a mom experience this, right? It's this assumptive psychology that we want to lead with because why not? Like, why not? Why not just assume the right person is watching our content? If they're not, they're going to pass it anyways. If we assume and use direct assumptive language, they're going to feel more like we're talking right to them. You're feeling burnout. Not if you're feeling burnout, it's you're feeling burnout. I know who you are. I've been you. The other thing I think that was great about this is she does not introduce herself until about 3/4 of the way through. I love this tactic. I don't use this tactic as sometimes, you know, you don't always do what you say. I don't know if anybody can relate. But I love this tactic because nobody cares who she is until she gives them something of value, right? So it's really awesome that instead of the video starting with, hey, I'm Marla Dakin, and for the past 30 years, I've blah, 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 blah. If you have a teen who's struggling with, right? You see the difference? I mean, we're talking about performance, but we're also talking about just scripting and messaging, right? And I've got a note about messaging I think I'm going to get to tomorrow. Some strong opinions about messaging. Probably people in the industry don't necessarily agree with or love, but that's okay. Yeah, and if I spelled psychological wrong, thank you, Dr. Josephine. Every time I go to type that word, I'm like, P-S-Y. And if there's no red line under it, I'm like, moving on. All right. Celeste, you still have your hand up, so do you want to say something? I love that perseverance. Let's go to Celeste. What do you have to say?
So in that last video, and I was typing it in the chat.
Okay, great.
You can see that she has like kind of the dead eyes, right?
Yeah.
So like when I'm like looking at you, you can see I'm kind of like talking to you because I'm looking at you, my eyes are moving and it looks like I'm real. That's what actors do. Now watch what happens when I talk to the camera and I think I'm talking to you and my eyes kind of look dead. And this was the problem I saw in my Palisades Fire video. I was like looking at the camera and the eyes aren't alive like real actors. So like, and I don't know, I think some actors will sometimes put someone opposite the camera. So when they're acting to a person who is like as if I'm talking. And I noticed when I would look down and look, okay, so watch when I'm looking at, well, when I'm looking at myself, I'm like talking to myself and you can see my eyes are moving and my face is moving.
So I got you. I know where this is going. I've had this, I've had this conversation plenty of times. Yeah. So here's what I would say. For starters, I have a little bit of a disagreement in regards to maybe what dead eyes are and whatnot. We don't have to settle that right now. What I would suggest is there's two ways that we're going to consume content. In our container, Priscilla and I's container that everybody else is in, we're viewing content with eagle eyes, skeptical eyes. We're viewing content with like pick it apart eyes, right? Because we're trying to dissect everything and go, oh, did you notice this? Did you notice that? If I'm a mom and I'm losing all hope with my teen, the last thing I'm seeing there is dead eyes. 99% of the time. I can't speak for every mom, right? This is just my professional opinion. Now, to answer what I think you're saying, and I think a lot of people have this concern, which is why I was trying to like get at this talking to objects, that I want you, Celeste, to feel like when you go to the camera, instead of thinking you're going to be dead eyes, this is where your actress comes in. This is where you're looking at the lens, not at yourself or somebody else, and you're talking to it, not at it. Write that down if you need to. Talk to, not at. I'm treating this camera, I'm in this room alone. I love that I have these big Zoom galleries because it gives me energy, but I'm treating this camera like it's a person, wherever the camera is, over there. I'm treating the camera like it's a person that I'm expecting a response for. Like when I know I'm saying something that's gonna land, I can feel you shaking your heads because I know I'm on. I'm in the energy and I'm not worried about like anything else other than delivering that message. Does that help a little bit, Celeste? No. Okay, great. Cool. Okay, what's your counter?
I think the thing for me, because I was trying to fix this, and I took a commercial acting class, right? So I realized there was two things that stood in my way of why I can't convey the message like an actor.
Yeah.
Is one, you have to be off book or really solid, or
Yeah.
the teleprompter has to be in a way, or when you're cold reading and you put the like sides to the side, but you can grab
Yeah.
the line and then deliver because because usually I think there was like either the acting teacher was across me or there was something, because I was seeing that I was like, how do these actors look so transparent, and the truth of what they were communicating was in their in the actor instrument, right? So that's why we watch, like, you know, Ralph Fiennes in Conclave, and we see the welling up of the true emotion coming from a place that's real. So he's actually informing the situation and the message of where he's taking you as an artist. So you see the difference. And so I think maybe it's because I've got the professional stuff, but you can see the difference between someone who's delivering the message through their instrument versus someone who's doing like what I'm doing when I'm looking at the camera. And I'm even trying to talk to you, and it looks like but it looks performative and like a
it
little
looks
fake
to me
fun.
like you're talking to me. So I think there may be a little bit of, you've got enough training just to be dangerous, right?
And not to have the answer. That's basically it for me.
Yeah. So for instance, the videos that I showed you today, Marla, the recent one, she was on a teleprompter. The ones I showed you yesterday in regards to My Name Ain't Jimbo Marshall, I'm on a teleprompter. Barry's that we saw, all of that is scripted. Like all of that is on a teleprompter, right?
Right, like I've had to do that. Like I've had to put yoga blocks behind my computer when I'm doing pitch for a story.
Yeah.
And the pitch, and I had to aim the pitch things with big type. Like,
Yeah. You're making me just want to work with you so I can prove you wrong. I said, you're making me want to work with you just so I can prove you wrong, because I'll get you through that.
I would love
shit.
you to prove me wrong. Because, like, I saw it in my
I'll get you through it.
Fire video, and I had a really long pitch, and I didn't put it in the right sight line, so my eyes went here.
Yeah,
and then
we can't ever do that. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was terrible.
Yeah, we cannot have notes off to the side. We cannot do any of that. This is a note for everybody, right? So if you think you're going to cheat and put a little post-it pad right above the camera, look what will happen. And the other thing I want to tell you about video is that it really works. You know, when you use video properly, everybody is going to get to see the real you, right? There's a subtle shift. Little bit of side note, but it's relevant here. You'll sometimes see video shoots that have two cameras, one camera that the talent is addressing and then a side camera. I hate that. Don't ever pay for that. Erica Hill, if you're here, don't ever pay for a two-camera shoot when you're doing marketing videos. And the reason is quite simple. When we're addressing the camera, our intent is to connect with that future client. As soon as I cut to that side camera, that connection breaks. It's just like the other thing when I was doing my testimonial video yesterday. If I'm doing something like this and I'm like, you know, video is so good because it's blah-de-de-blah and everything else. Yeah, I might be getting information out there, but it's information, it's not connection, right? And there's a time and place for it, right? If you're doing some, you know, if you've got a podcast, for instance, and you've got some of that stuff, you want to use that as marketing material. But like when you're looking, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow, like sales page videos, opt-in videos, we always want to be addressing the camera like we're sitting across from somebody having a cup of coffee, all right? All right, here's what I want to do right now. I'm going to, I want to show you one more slide because this is something I, long before I had, I'm looking at now Dr. Josephine and going, every word is spelled correctly. Okay. Yeah, also Patty caught one of my misspellings yesterday. Not a misspelling, just a misword. Oh, good to see you back, Sarah. Cheryl, all right, you're on the phone. Hang up with them, Cheryl. It's not, oh, you're not on the phone. Okay, I thought you were on the phone. I was like, it's not as important as, I'm only kind of kidding. All right, we got Tina Weller here. Something weird's going on with that. Okay, and hello, Justin. Good to see you. So I came up with this saying a long time ago because you know in this industry, everybody loves a, what's the word? Is it an acronym where the word says it's a word and then, okay. And when I got into this coaching industry, I was like, boy, they love an acronym. And so I'd come up with my own acronym. And so here it is. When you're performing, when in doubt, I want you to smile. Say, man, I love everyone. Okay? Say, man, I love everyone. And hopefully that'll be something that you can put in the back of your noodle just to kind of like, you know, as I'm making my videos, say, man, I love everyone. All right. So I want to get you into breakouts. We're going to go into breakouts of 4 to 5 people. And here's what I want you to practice. Give, you know, timer, hair, who goes first? You want all that crap that I don't like dealing with, right? That's not my cup of tea. But I want you to, we're going to go in for about 10 minutes. And I want each person to give their pitch, to talk about who they help or whatever. It doesn't have to be anything official. You could read from, or you could talk about what you had for dinner last night, as far as I'm concerned. But I want you to try to incorporate some of those acting techniques, right? So some of those acting techniques, doesn't have to be all of them, right? If you're one of my precious newbies here, just focus on looking into that lens, right? And not worrying about everybody else on Zoom, right? So when you're on a Zoom call, the idea is that you're not looking at yourself on Zoom, right? And you know, you're connecting with the lens. So either your focus is, you know, on the lens. If you're just started, right, that's where I want you to start. Maybe you're putting a little hands, a little body language into it, right? Maybe you're trying out some psychological tone, right? Because you want this to work, don't you? All right, Lori, no worries. We appreciate you being here. All right, so let's go into breakouts for about 10 minutes. Everybody get a turn, and I'll see you back here, and I want to hear some shares. All right, thank you, guys. Turn it on. Is it working a lot better right now?
There you go.
Shocking. Okay, yeah. I had to go to the restroom. I didn't want to take you all with me. You're welcome. Oh, so what I was saying was a little bit of this for, was that good? Is that a good little activity? All right, great. I want to get some shares. Yeah, and then I saw Deborah going like this. She's like, no, not good. Messed with my head. Barbara Drady, what do you got for me?
We had just 3 of us, and it was amazing.
Great.
Cynthia, Chevelle, and myself, and we were all able to kind of help each other in how we're appearing. And Cynthia told me that I was looking in the wrong place, and I said, well, I'm looking at the top of my screen, and she said simply, I'm on a laptop, tip the screen towards you.
Yeah. I love it. Well done, Cynthia. Cynthia bringing in that PBS direction. I love it. Well done. And Cynthia, you look lovely today. Are you doing a show today, or did you just get dressed up for me? Just for me. All right, great. Yeah, I love it. All right, Dr. Jill, I saw that you said eye contact is hard.
So our group, we spent a minute at the beginning talking about practicing where to look on the screen to have it look like you're looking in the right place, because it's actually on my computer where it is now. It's not at the green dot, it's a little bit lower.
Okay.
But so we all went, and what we discovered was that, like, everybody was super engaging, and I want to do what they're all doing. But we all do this, which is when we're thinking.
Yeah, you see.
We look around, and it's really hard. What's hard is to maintain looking at the camera, because when humans think, their natural tendency is to do other things with their eyes, and to me, that's the hardest part of all of it. And I don't know why I have such a lag.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure about the lag, but I call this, Jill, I see your wheel spinning, right? I see your wheel spinning as you're kind of looking around. Yeah. And I can tell you what fixes a lot of this.
Practice.
Rehearsal. Yeah, rehearsal. Rehearsing. And for a lot of you on here, can I just physical raise a hand? You've been through one of my things where you know what shooting for the edit is. You know how we're going to break down this Nancy suite. Okay, great. That's going to be the key to all of this. And those of you that don't get that yet, it's coming tomorrow. And all of a sudden, all of this is going to become a lot simpler, right? Because we're not going to be focused on memorizing scripts or anything like that. We're going to be talking from a script, but it's the words, whatever the words say, as long as we're in the ballpark of what those words mean or convey, we're going to be fine. So yeah, good comment. Yeah.
And I think that that's one of the things that when you're doing it on video and you're rehearsing it, it's easier to get right. Most of my videos that I've watched of me are like, say I'm doing a podcast, I'm being interviewed.
Yeah.
So I know roughly the kinds of things I like to say, but I don't know what they're going to ask me. So I do have to think about the answer.
Well, and here's what I will say to that, because that is a really good question. And again, I'm going to go back to what I talked about yesterday. Think about the level of permissions we have. If somebody's consuming a podcast, you have their permission. They've raised their hand. Nobody accidentally watches a podcast. We might watch a podcast clip, right, that comes through our socials, but we're not like all of a sudden like, oh, here's 45 minutes and I've got nothing else to do,
Yeah,
right?
well,
So
it doesn't
think
need
about
to
that
be
permission.
In terms of, yeah, it can be a little bit looser.
Yeah,
And
makes
plus
sense.
they know you're
Yeah,
thinking on your feet.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Cool. All right, Laura Bailey. Laura, what'd you think?
Hello, Hopo.
There you go. It's gonna catch
My
on.
question is about my glasses. So
Okay.
my performance was received and felt, but I couldn't see my eyes because of my glasses. So I'm wondering if you have any tips about that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know you have glasses on and I can see your eyes.
Yeah. So I think you've got beautiful glasses, but those are like more of a fashion forward glasses, right? So you've got thicker rims. You've also got something happening right now that's just computer reflection, right? So I can see the computer screen on your glasses. And this would apply to everybody. Good to see you back, Roseanne. A couple other people that came in that I wanted to say hello to. So thank you for joining us today. When you go to buy glasses, and Laura, I'm assuming like those are prescription, right? You're not just like wearing them because, right?
Prescription and blue blockers.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so there's another thing that you can add to the glasses that's like glare reflection. So you want to look into that the next time you purchase glasses. And yeah, I'm assuming that comment is not from Courtney. Is that Julie? Looking around for you. I know it's a J name wrong. Sorry if I got it wrong. But the ring lights, I feel like, are the worst lights, by the way. I'm just kind of looking at the chat. The ring lights are the worst because they put 2 rings in each eye, right? Especially if you wear glasses.
I started putting my ring light over to the side and bouncing
Yeah.
it off of the wall.
There you go. Look at you, pro. The other thing you can, that's really like one of the tips I would give. Because the great thing with, our technology today is we can literally look and we're getting what we see, right? So we can experiment with some things. A lot of times I will bounce light off of a ceiling. So if I have a white ceiling, I will shine a light off at hit it on the top, and that way it's just kind of reflecting off everything. So that can be an option. And then the other option is to just not worry about it too much. Maybe find glasses with a little bit thinner of rim for your video content and make sure you're being expressive with your eyes, right? It's impossible for me to light a scene if I'm wearing glasses or my talent is wearing glasses and I'm not going to see some level of reflection, right? And if you watch the news or whatever enough and you pay attention, you'll notice some reflection. Rarely do newscasters wear glasses. It's generally because of that. Yeah, thank you, Justin. Justin's an expert at this kind of stuff. ultimately my advice is like, don't worry about it, get thinner rims and just focus on that performance and you're gonna be fine. Make sense?
Absolutely. So it also sounds like maybe like clear rims or just like, so you're not seeing the glasses.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
not stealing the show.
Yeah. So you've got, so the blue, you said blue blockers, so maybe that, I'm not familiar with those, so it has, I guess, that's why I'm seeing that reflection off your lens, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
it's an extra layer for the
Okay.
to protect the eyes against looking at the computer screen. So
All day long, which is all we do, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. So it's convenient and also not when it comes to creating content. I get that. Thank
well,
you.
I'd like to be able to see, right?
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. All right, Dr. Patrice, thank you for raising your hand. What do you got?
Hi. Well, first of all, I can't change my name for some reason.
I know. Yeah, I can. I'll go in there and
Okay.
change it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. So when I went into this, I was like, oh, I'm not ready for it. But what I realized is that it kind of, because I wasn't ready for it, it kind of put me in that, okay, let's perform.
Oh.
So I felt
Okay,
like I
good.
was, had that, okay, let's get that energy and
Yes.
perform. And I feel like I kind of did better, but my mind was racing because I didn't have
okay.
anything prepared.
That's okay. Listen, that's part of it. And you said exactly what I wanted the effect to be. I just had to perform. Yes.
That's how I felt, yeah. And
Yes.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Yes, you are welcome. Here's what I would say. I'm going to move on to Will, but here's what I would say for my doctors in the room. Our professionals in the room are going to naturally struggle more with performing because they're freaking doctors. Like they're so credible, but they don't have to, they've never had to think like, oh, I've got to now sell myself. Right? So Patrice, that's what I want you to start thinking of. I'm sure I've got the credentials, I've got all that, but really they're buying me, right? They're buying me. So thank you for that. All right, Will, what do you got for me?
Oh, two things, I guess. One, my eyes are kind of built in a bit of a slit kind of thing, and it's difficult to see what I'm looking at half the time, it seems.
Yeah.
It's just the way I'm built. So is there any suggestions?
Yeah. I think we may all be built with a similar eye structure. I don't know if pirates have different eye structures than us regular folk.
Yes,
Okay.
That's it. Okay.
So, yeah, listen, I think, my tip would be is make an extra effort to get your eyes wide open. And that's just going to be some practice. Right? Now you don't want to over exaggerate like Money's doing, but you want to like focus on like, okay, when can I like pop my eyes a bit, right? When can I make it a little bit more expressive? And ultimately, if, and this would apply to anybody, whether glasses or you think whatever, your eyes are built a little different, focus on different things. Right? Intending to smile with your eyes, but making sure that your expression, you're holding your face in a nice, happy way rather than, non-expressive, right? So you want to get your cheekbones up there a little bit as you're talking about things, right? Because it doesn't really matter what I'm saying right now. It really looks like I'm into it, right? And that's the whole point, as opposed to, it doesn't matter what I'm saying right now. It just looks like I'm into it, right? Just some facial expression will change the game for you, Will. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah,
all right.
it does. Thanks.
All right, we're going to end with Muddy and we'll go to break. What do you got for me, Muddy?
I like how the exercises kind of focus on one piece at a time. And so that time we were really kind of focused on the acting techniques. So I wasn't as worried about kind of what I was saying, more about how I was saying. Right? And so and one of the techniques that I kind of did naturally, I was working on acting techniques, but one of the things I did naturally is kind of lean in when I was making a point, and the feedback from the group was twofold. One is in the beginning, I was kind of doing that and moving in and out, and that was a little more distracting. But then later, when I kind of leaned in and made a point, that really helped.
Yeah.
And I'm standing right now, which made it a lot easier to be a little bit more dynamic in my movements. So
yeah,
good
great
exercise.
point. Great point. Thank you for that, Muddy. I'll finish up before I cut you loose for a 15-minute break here. The key things that Muddy was saying, one, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Like I've said this for 15 years at least. It is not what you say, it's how you say it. It could be a writer downer because I don't want anybody to be married to specific words because the words themselves are useless without the performance. Without the emotion, it's just words. Remember, our goal is to tap into their emotions. People move and buy on an emotional level, and then we'll justify it with everything else later, right? So we've got to get them to feel something, and the only way we do that is by performing, right? You mentioned leaning in and leaning out. Of course, it can be overdone, right? So I don't want you to overthink that, Muddy, right? You're also in a position where we're talking to a laptop, so it's exaggerated as you come in, right? But I've got space in Studio C here, right, where I can, kind of lean in and make a point, and it's not so like, oh, I'm right in your face, right? I'm just giving you hope. That's what I'm here to do all day long. Enjoy your break. We'll be back in 15 minutes, all right? So get outside, get some water, and I'll see you guys back. Thank you for an amazing morning session.